Beneath the quiet hum of a thriving forest floor, the ant colony of Mount Sugardrop went about its daily, diligent life. Every worker moved with purpose, a miniature civilization built on communal effort. Yet, within this orderly world, a spark of ambition ignited in the heart of General Formica, who surveyed his dominion, dreaming of grander fortunes beyond their humble tunnels. From his vantage point, hidden amongst the rugged roots of an ancient oak, General Formica's gaze was fixed on a magnificent golden beacon in the distance. It was the honeycomb citadel, the heavily guarded treasury of the bees, gleaming under the afternoon sun. A glint of challenge and hunger flickered in his eyes, realizing the immense risk, but also the unimaginable reward. Deep within a hidden chamber, General Formica addressed his most trusted unit, 3 brave ant soldiers, their charcoal masks obscuring their faces, but their fierce determination palpable. With a precise, almost human gesture, he traced the intricate roots and defenses of the honeycomb citadel on a large veined leaf, detailing a daring heist plan that would challenge their very limits. Under the cover of twilight, the elite squad prepared. Each ant methodically donned their charcoal masks, their faces transforming into anonymous, determined silhouettes. They meticulously checked their gear, sharpened needlepoint pickaxes, tightly wound silk threads, and leaf fragment armor. Their human-like focus was absolute, each movement a testament to their dedication to the audacious plan. Under the pre-dawn sky, the elite ant squad embarked on their perilous journey. Moving like shadows, they navigated a treacherous landscape of towering grass blades and colossal pebbles, their tiny lantern a solitary beacon in the vastness. Each human-like step was calculated, each rustle of leaves a potential alert as they pressed silently towards their golden objective. Reaching the formidable outer wall of the honeycomb citadel, the first ant soldier, a figure of silent courage, began his descent. With practiced human-like grace, he launched himself from the precipice of a dew-laden leaf, a single strand of silk his lifeline into the unknown depths of the beehive. Below, the dark entrance yawned, promising both treasure and danger. Carefully, the lead ant scout inched through a tiny fissure, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm. His POV captured the sight that made his blood run cold. A hulking bee guard, encased in riot armor, patrolling the cavernous honey chamber. Its glowing eyes swept the area with an unnerving, machine-like precision, and its translucent wings hummed with a low, menacing thrum. The scale of their opposition was terrifyingly clear. Deeper into the hive they ventured, a vast, echoing labyrinth of golden wax. The ant squad, employing textbook stealth, moved with hushed, human-like precision through the hexagonal passages. They hugged the curved walls, their charcoal masks mere blurs in the dim light, their tiny lanterns casting fleeting shadows that danced with every silent, calculated step. Suddenly, the rhythmic thrumming grew louder. A massive bee guard, its armored form casting an imposing shadow, patrolled dangerously close to their hiding spot. The lead ant soldier, pressed against the cool wax wall, held his breath, his human-like fear palpable. He gripped his needle pickaxe, ready for a fight, as the bee's glowing optical sensors swept past, agonizingly close to revealing them. After navigating the treacherous, guard-filled outer chambers, the ant squad finally emerged into a grand antechamber. Before them stood the magnificent, reinforced entrance to the main honey vault, shimmering with an ethereal golden glow. The ants exchanged silent, human-like glances, a mixture of awe and fierce determination in their eyes. The prize was within sight. The ant squad's relief at reaching the vault was shattered instantly. Two colossal bee guards, resembling armored riot police from a nightmare, stood motionless like living statues at the entrance. Their translucent wings hummed with restrained power, and the laser-like stingers at their hips pulsed with a menacing crimson glow. The ants retreated into the shadows of a propolis pillar, their human-like hearts hammering, realizing brute force was impossible. In the suffocating silence behind the wax pillar, Scout Silk, known for his audacious schemes, clutched a single precious sugar cube. With trembling, human-like gestures, he whispered his desperate plan to his skeptical companion. A bribe. Perhaps the bee guards had weaknesses. Perhaps they craved simple sweetness. It was a gamble born of desperation, but it was all they had. With shaking limbs and bravado borrowed from desperation, Silk stepped from the shadows. He approached the towering bee guard, extending the sugar cube with an awkward human-like pleading gesture, his antennae drooping in nervous submission. The guard's massive armored bulk loomed over him like a mountain, its glowing eyes staring down with cold, mechanical indifference, making Silk feel utterly insignificant. The silence shattered with a thunderous, booming voice from the bee guard. "Union break time!" In utter disbelief, Silk watched as the massive guard, this armored titan, simply sat down right there, on duty, crossing his arms with casual, human-like boredom. The second guard checked a tiny flower petal wristwatch and followed suit. The absurdity was staggering. The heist had just become a coffee break. Silk couldn't believe his eyes. The bee guards, these supposed elite defenders, had produced tiny honey packets from their armor and were now eating messily with human-like contentment, honey dripping from their mandibles. They completely ignored the ants, chatting idly about shift schedules. The vault entrance gaped open behind them, the greatest security breach in hive history, caused by union regulations. Seizing the impossible opportunity, General Formica signaled with sharp, human-like hand gestures. The ant squad moved like ghosts, tiptoeing with exaggerated slow-motion stealth past the snacking guards. Every footstep was agony. One ant nearly slipped on a fallen honey droplet. The bees continued their gossip, completely oblivious, their union break saving the heist. As the vault door closed behind them, the ant squad stepped into paradise. The main chamber was dominated by a single colossal drop of honey, suspended like a golden sun by delicate wax threads, radiating warmth and sweetness. The walls shimmered with countless reserves. The ants stood frozen, their human-like expressions of pure awe visible even through their charcoal masks. They had done it. Engineer Mandible, their strongest lifter, attached a complex silk harness to the honey drop and pulled with every ounce of human-like strength. His legs dug trenches in the wax floor, sweat flying from his brow, antennae flat with effort. The honey drop didn't move. Not a millimeter. The terrible truth dawned. It was impossibly, absurdly heavy. Their entire escape plan was worthless. General Formica stared at the immovable treasure, his initial frustration melting into something else. His eyes widened with sudden human-like inspiration, antennae shooting upward. "If we can't take it," he whispered with growing excitement, "we'll consume it. Here. Now. Leave nothing. No evidence, no trail. Just satisfied thieves." The ultimate twist. The heist became a feast. What followed was glorious chaos. The ants attacked the honey drop like starved warriors, hacking chunks free with their pickaxes and devouring them with human-like gluttony. Masks slipped. Faces became golden masks themselves. One ant broke into an impromptu victory dance mid-bite. Honey splattered the pristine vault. They weren't stealing treasure anymore. They were erasing it with pure, joyful consumption. The feast of triumph lasted mere minutes. A distant, growing vibration shook the vault door. The bee guard's break had ended. Muffled shouting penetrated the wax walls, and a terrible red emergency glow seeped beneath the entrance. The 3 honey-glazed ants froze like statues, honey still dripping from their mandibles, their brief victory evaporating into primal terror. The escape window was closing. "Scatter! Leaf escape route now!" General Formika's voice boomed with human-like military authority, cutting through the panic. Honey dripped from his askew mask as he pointed toward a ventilation shaft, their pre-planned emergency exit. The ants snapped to action, their earlier gluttony forgotten, transforming back into disciplined soldiers facing imminent capture. The vault door didn't open, it exploded. 5 bee guards stormed through in tight tactical formation, their translucent wings spread wide, laser stingers blazing crimson death. Wax shrapnel filled the air. The ants scattered like startled mice, their honey-covered bodies making them shimmering targets. The heist had officially become a desperate escape. In the chaos, Silk's honey-covered feet betrayed him. He slipped with spectacular human-like gracelessness, arms windmilling, and crashed full force into a bee guard's armored leg. Both tumbled in an absurd heap. The other bees actually paused, momentarily confused by the ridiculous collision. Silk's mask flew off mid-fall, the universe's cruelest timing. The impossible happened. Instead of a laser stinger blast, the fallen bee guard extended an armored hand towards Silk with genuine human-like concern. "You okay, little guy?" The entire vault froze. Bees and ants alike stared in mutual bewilderment. Silk, maskless and honey-glazed, could only gape at this armored giant, offering help instead of destruction. Seizing the impossible distraction, General Formika hissed urgent commands and bolted toward the ventilation shaft. His 2 remaining soldiers followed in desperate human-like sprint, honey and dust kicking up behind them. The bees, still bewildered by their comrades' compassion, were seconds too slow. The shaft's dim light promised freedom, if they could reach it. The bee commander exploded into the vault like a thunderclap, his elite armor crackling with barely contained energy. He surveyed the devastation, devoured honey, scattered guards, one ant still being gently held by a confused soldier. His eyes locked on the empty ventilation shaft where the other ants had vanished. His fury shook the wax walls, but the main culprits were already gone. Deep in the ventilation shaft, the 3 escaped ants collapsed against the wax walls, chests heaving with human-like exhaustion. They were covered in honey, masks askew, bodies trembling, but alive. one weakly raised a sticky fist. They'd lost the treasure, but consumed it. No evidence, no trail. Just 3 exhausted, honey-glazed heroes who'd pulled off the impossible. As the sun dipped below the forest canopy, the 3 honey-glazed heroes emerged at Mount Sugardrop. The colony erupted. Hundreds of workers surged forward with human-like cheers, antennae waving like flags. The heroes stood on a pebble podium, exhausted but radiant. Their honey stains were badges of honor, proof of the impossible feast. General Formica raised both arms in a dramatic hero pose as the colony celebrated its sweetest victory. In a cozy bee break room, Silk sat across from his unexpected friend, sharing honey packets and laughing with genuine human-like warmth. The helpful guard had become his confidant. But as Silk glanced through the window at the rebuilt vault, now with even more honey, a tiny, mischievous glint flashed in one eye. The heist wasn't over. It was just beginning. Silk wasn't a prisoner of kindness. He was a double agent with a sweet, long-term plan.